I never thought I'd be the kind of person who secretly recorded conversations in my own house. But when you start questioning your own memory, you either gather proof or you lose your mind. I'm 34. My wife, Hannah, is 33. We've been married for 6 years. No kids, 2 golden retrievers, suburban house, 2 cars, dual income, nothing dramatic. From the outside, we were stable. Inside, something was shifting. Hannah has always been the organized one, the planner, the person who keeps track of passwords, taxes, vet appointments, and which cabinet the light bulbs are in. I'm more relaxed. I forget small things. I misplace my phone sometimes. So when small things started disappearing, I blamed myself. First, it was my dad's watch. It wasn't expensive, but it was the last thing he gave me before he passed. I always kept it on my nightstand. One morning, it was gone. I searched everywhere. Under the bed, in drawers, in laundry baskets, in the bathroom. Nothing. Hannah helped me look. She seemed concerned. "Maybe you wore it to work," she said gently. I was sure I hadn't. 3 days later, it reappeared, right back on the nightstand, like it had never left. I asked her if she found it. She paused for half a second. "You probably never lost it." That phrasing stuck with me. Not, "I found it." Not, "It was in the couch." You probably never lost it. I laughed, but something about it felt wrong. 2 weeks later, it happened again. Car keys. I always leave them in the ceramic bowl by the door. Gone. I was late for work. I tore through the house in frustration. Hannah stood watching me. "You do this all the time," she said calmly. "No, I don't." I ended up taking her car. That night, I opened the freezer to grab ice. My keys were inside, in a bag of frozen vegetables. I just stood there staring at them. There is no universe where I put my car keys in the freezer. When I showed her, she sighed. "You've been stressed. You probably did it absent-mindedly." Her tone wasn't joking. It wasn't confused. It was clinical, like she was observing a patient. I felt embarrassed, ashamed. What if I really was slipping? Then money moved. $600 transferred from my checking account to her personal savings. The memo for what I broke. I didn't send it. I showed her immediately. She didn't look shocked. "You said you'd cover it," she said. "Cover what?" "My laptop, after you threw it." I had not thrown her laptop. We hadn't even argued. She described it calmly. Said I had yelled. Said I slammed it off the desk. Said I apologized. Promised to repay her. I remembered none of it. None. That night, I stayed up until 3 a.m. researching early onset dementia. I'm 34. The scariest part wasn't the accusations. It was her certainty. No hesitation. No cracks. "You've been different for months," she told me. Forgetful. Irritable. Months. That lined up exactly with my promotion at work. More responsibility. More stress. More travel. And more money. That thought made me feel gross. Like I was accusing her just because I earned more. So I buried it. Until my sister called. "Hannah told Mom you've been having episodes." Episodes? What kind? Memory problems. Mood swings. She sounded scared. I felt something cold settle in my stomach. Now other people believed it. Now there was a version of me being described to my family. And I wasn't in control of that version. That was the moment I started thinking about proof. Not to accuse her. To protect myself. I didn't jump straight to recording. At first, I tried journaling. Every night, I wrote down what happened that day. Conversations, purchases, arguments. If I was losing my memory, I wanted documentation. A week passed. Nothing major happened. Then one Thursday night, Hannah came into the living room with her phone in her hand. "Are you going to tell me about the message?" "What message?" She turned her phone toward me. A screenshot of a text conversation. My number at the top. The message said, "I don't know how much longer I can do this. I feel trapped." Sent to a woman named Melissa. I don't know Melissa. I had never sent that. "That's not real," I said immediately. Her face didn't change. "It's your number." It was. but the formatting looked slightly off, like a forwarded screenshot, not the actual thread. Let me see the full conversation. She hesitated. It's deleted now. Deleted? Of course. She said I must have deleted it. That maybe I didn't remember sending it. I checked my phone. No sent messages. No deleted threads. Nothing. I asked to see her phone again. She refused. Don't turn this around on me, she said quietly. I felt dizzy. Was I blacking out and texting strangers? I checked phone records through my carrier. No outgoing text to that number. When I showed her, she shrugged. Maybe you use an app. An app? The explanations were always just plausible enough to make me doubt myself. Then came the doctor. She scheduled an appointment just to be safe. Neurological evaluation. I agreed. Part of me wanted them to find something. At least then there would be an explanation. Test came back normal. Perfectly normal. When we got in the car, she was silent. You see, I said gently, I'm okay. She stared out the window. They can miss things early on. That's when fear turned into something else. Not confusion. Not concern. Suspicion. 2 nights later, I found something that changed everything. I was looking for batteries in her office drawer. Instead, I found my watch, the same one that reappeared, inside her desk, wrapped in tissue paper. My hand started shaking. I didn't confront her immediately. I put it back, and that's when I ordered a small audio recorder online. The recorder arrived in 2 days. I hid it in the living room bookshelf. I felt insane doing it, but I needed clarity. 3 days later, I got it. Hannah came home from work agitated. You forgot to call the insurance company again, she said. I called them this morning. I replied, No, you didn't. Yes, I did. She insisted I hadn't, that I promised and forgot. The conversation escalated. She started describing a fight we supposedly had last week. Details, exact phrases, things I never said. I felt that familiar panic rising. What if she was right? What if I was rewriting reality? Later that night, after she fell asleep, I played the recording. The argument had happened, but not the way she described. She was the one who raised her voice. She was the one who accused. I stayed calm the entire time. And the previous fight she referenced never happened. There was no recording of it, because it didn't exist. I replayed it 3 times. I wasn't crazy. She was rewriting events. Deliberately, I confronted her the next evening, not about the recording, about the watch. I asked casually, Did you move my watch that week? She looked directly at me. No hesitation, no blinking, just no. I felt something inside me shift permanently. This wasn't confusion. It was strategy. The real unraveling started when I checked our home security system. We had cameras at the front door and in the garage. I rarely reviewed footage, but that night I did. I went back to the day my keys disappeared. At 11:43 p.m., Hannah walked into the kitchen, opened the freezer, placed something inside, zoomed in, car keys. I sat back in my chair. There it was, clear, intentional, not accidental, not absent-minded, intentional. I felt a strange calm wash over me. The fog was gone. I wasn't losing my mind. Someone was trying to make me think I was. The next morning, she was unusually affectionate, made breakfast, kissed my cheek, asked if I slept okay. I studied her face. How long had this been happening? 6 months? Longer? And why? Money? Control? Insurance? I checked our policies. 2 months earlier, she had increased my life insurance coverage. Significantly, my stomach dropped. That night, I copied all footage, saved audio recordings, transferred bank statements, screenshots. I sent them to a secure cloud account she didn't know existed. Then I called a lawyer. Quietly. Here's what I eventually learned. Hannah had been documenting me too, except her documentation was fabricated. Emails drafted but never sent. Journal entries written in advance. Screenshots edited. She was building a narrative. Unstable husband. Memory issues. Aggression. Financial irresponsibility. Why? Because she had already spoken to an attorney 3 months earlier. I wasn't meant to find out this way. Her plan wasn't to hurt me physically. It was to dismantle me legally. If she could establish instability, she could control shared assets, secure the house, avoid alimony disputes, possibly claim spousal support. And if I resisted, she had a ready-made story. Unstable, forgetful, paranoid. When I finally confronted her with the freezer footage, she didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just stared at the screen, then at me, and for the first time in 6 years, I saw something I'd never seen before. Calculation. "You were spying on me?" she asked quietly. I almost laughed. Spying. After months of psychological manipulation, the irony was overwhelming. I told her I had spoken to a lawyer. Her expression changed instantly. Not fear, anger, cold anger. "You've destroyed our marriage." No, she had. "The divorce process is ongoing. My family now knows the truth." I showed them the footage, the recordings, the documentation. Some were shocked. Some were embarrassed they believed her. Hannah moved out 3 weeks ago. Sometimes I still wake up questioning my memory. Gaslighting doesn't stop immediately. It lingers. But I keep the footage, not out of revenge, but as a reminder. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't unstable. I wasn't losing my mind. I was being systematically rewritten, and I almost let it happen.